Nature is a deep and rich vein of logo symbolism. Trees, plants, flowers and leaves, the sun and the landscape. Nature-inspired imagery has connotations of fertility, the seasons, growth and renewal. Here are 4 approaches to creating a nature-inspired logo based on a leaf. So in the first example, I'm tracing over a leaf and creating a relative being the operative word, naturalistic leaf. Then I'm switching to a completely geometric leaf, and then that suggests simplifying further, just using the leaf shape, creating some sort of interaction between a repetition of that leaf, and then finally switching to a different kind of leaf and experimenting with the negative space that is created between the 2 leaves. But let's start out with this first version. I'll come to the layers panel and I'm going to turn off the finish layer, turn on the image layer. I'll also turn off the type layer. Tearing off my pen tools and starting with my pen tool, I will create a very simple outline based on straight line segments around the leaf. I'll then come to my anchor point tool and apply some rounding to those anchor points. Now I will come to my pencil tool and add in the veins of the leaf. As I do this, I want to make sure that this option with the pencil is unchecked, Edit Selected Paths. And I'm deliberately continuing these outside of the leaf shape. Now let's select all of those elements and apply a variable width profile to them. I'll come and change the color to the dark green color that is on my swatches panel. I'll select the major veins and increase the weight. I can now turn off the image, select the outline and make its stroke none, make its fill the lighter green color, and then from the effect menu, come and apply an inner glow, which uses the darker green color. Now let me select everything, deselect that outline, and group all of the veins of the leaf by pressing Command or Control G. I now want to select the outline shape and copy that, Command C, select the veins, Command or Control F to paste the shape in front of that, extend the selection to the veins by holding down Shift and clicking on them, and then make that into a clipping mask. Let me go back to my pencil tool now. I'll just add in a stroke right there. That's going to be a 2-point stroke. Let's make it the variable width. I'm going to come to my width tool and make that wider at the bottom and a bit wider at the top too. All right, I'll now group all of that together. Let's turn the type back on. I'll come and apply a twist effect to that and scale it down into place. Now, am I crazy about that? No, it's all right, but it's not going to win any awards. It's too complicated. So that process then leads me to thinking, well, if we're going to work with the leaf, let's work with a further simplified version of the leaf. I opened up the original image in Photoshop. I straightened it and I masked half of it. Bringing that back to Illustrator, I then manually traced that half in the same way as I did the first example. That gives me a half, like so. And then from there, I use my reflection tool, reflect to copy, join those 2 pieces together, and then I'll copy that because I'm going to use that as a clipping shape as well in just a moment. I drew the veins of the leaf, again, in a completely symmetrical way this time. I'll paste that clipping shape on top of those, select those as well, and once again make a clipping mask. I've only made the veins yellow just so that we can see them. I'll now select them and they will become white. So that was my thinking in that example. And if we just look at the finished version, there is the leaf juxtaposed with the type. That led me to simplify further so that we have just the shape, no veins, just nothing more than a leaf shape. And what if we were to duplicate that shape and then spin it around, adjust its position, and then change its blending mode to multiply. And then jumping off from there, how about we just experiment with a different leaf shape entirely? This is a Photoshop custom shape filled with a gradient. And then when I reflected it and adjusted the position, unexpectedly, but somewhat fortuitously, I think the negative space that is created between the two is interesting. To me, it looks like a candle, and maybe there's something there that I can work with. So those are my 4 variants on a leaf-inspired logo.